is happening, everybody? TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com, and today I'm joined by Bob Dupriest. Is that how you pronounce your last name? Dupriest? Okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, wait a minute. And see, that's some of that stuff that we were talking about. I make fools out of I'm not hesitant to make a fool out of myself. Absolutely. So we've got Bob Dupriest here from Greatneck, and you cover a lot of different brands. So let's go over that really quick before we get into everything. You cover Reapr brand, you cover Sheffield, all of that stuff. So there's several brands underneath your umbrella, and I mean, all really cool stuff that applies to different segments of the market. And we're going to be here talking about some of your top sellers, some of your best products here. Before we get started, though, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you will know when we talk to really cool people like Bob here. Now, without further ado, let's light it up. So, Bob, what's going on, man? How are you today?
Just a beautiful day here in Texas, trying not to melt.
There we go.
104 today, I think.
We're going to talk today, and thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And tell us a little bit about what you do for the company.
So I handle our sporting goods line in sales and product development. I'm responsible for our Sheffield line of storage and knives and our Reapr line of cutlery. So I do all the sales for sporting goods, direct accounts like yourselves, and do the design and development for all the products. So many hats.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's a lot of hats. You definitely stay busy.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about some of your most popular products here, and talk about and one thing that we like to do is we like to get into kind of the design aspects, which is great, and kind of go through what the intention was and what the inspiration was for each individual tool. And the first one I want to bring up here is the jammer. This thing is absolutely wicked. A nice chunk of steel, awesome, cool aluminum grips right there. I'm digging this thing. So tell me about this thing and where this comes from.
So I take inspiration from, what I see in the market, what people are asking for. I try to follow what, what's becoming popular, and cleaver blades are growing in popularity, but I didn't want to just do your average cleaver. So kind of a hybrid between a drop point and a reverse tonto and a cleaver all in one.
Right.
And then in this kind of category, you end up with a lot of black on black on black. So black knives, black handle, black everything. So I wanted to give a little pop and color to the line. And that's kind of why you get that gunmetal gray aluminum handle. Using the aluminum allows us to anodize multiple colors. We have other knives that are kind of in that same family as that knife with the similar aluminum handle, kind of gives some pop to the line, and get some cool texturing to the handle as well. And then just doing the satin finish, give you that raw metal, that beautiful blade. Don't want to cover it up with anything, just keep it fresh. Yeah.
And I mean, as far as branding goes, it's nice and simple. It's not overly done. I think it's fantastic. That's really cool right there. And dude, this thing is heavy duty. Talk about a chopper right there. And you're right. Cleaver blades have been insanely popular over the last couple of years, and just that's what everybody's looking for. Whether it's something for a chopper like this, or just a camp knife, or a camp cooking knife, whatever the case may be, that's what a lot of people have been looking for and been really gravitating towards. And I don't know if it's just that it puts a lot of weight behind that edge and just powers through everything. It's super sturdy, or the fact that it just looks cool. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. It just looks cool. And all of these products are going to come with their own nylon sheath too.
Correct.
So the price point on this one, what we've got it at here, is $21.99, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit after we go through all of these products. But that's one thing too that you guys are doing a phenomenal job with is value in what you're giving the consumer, and not only value, but you take into account you guys have got a limited lifetime warranty, which is very important for a product like this, because I mean, God only knows what some people are doing with these things. So, I mean,
yeah. One thing I wanted to point out about that limited lifetime warranty, it's backed by a 103-year-old company. Greatneck Saw started in 1919.
Yep.
So if you ever have an issue, we're here and we're gonna be here. There's no issues.
And we
get products that come back sometimes that were made in the 1960s, and we still take care of the customer. So it's a real thing.
That's incredible,
and we're here. Yeah.
And thank you for saying that. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's amazing. That's something you don't find a lot, because there are a lot of companies out there that will find every loophole they can to not take care of the customer just because it might cost them a little bit of money. And so I think that's very important to note, is how much you guys care about the consumer and the people that are out there using your product. I think that's awesome. Now, up next, and this one's really cool. This one definitely appeals to my sense of need something to do everything, is the VersaTAC pry bar. And this is something, for me personally, I love this for the simple fact that this is going to be something that I want to keep in my car or truck. And because this is one of those products that it might not seem practical, but until you have it, you don't realize how useful this can actually be. So going over to all the features, you've got like a seatbelt cutter / gut hook right here. The top, this is ground, but it's not sharpened, so it's a nice pry bar edge right there. And that's one thing we harp on: don't use your knife as a pry tool. But this one is actually meant for that. Then you've got your sharpened edge. You've got your hex head part right there milled out of the blade, and then you've also got the pry bar in the end, which is actually milled out right here. And I'm going to show this up close. So, what was the intention behind this product?
Behind this product, two pieces here. One, we're a tool company. We have a tool background. We have lots of tools, including wrecking bars, pry bars, and we also have series of multi-tools. And I kind of wanted to merge the two things. And I've seen similar kind of things out there where people just call a pry bar a knife or vice versa. And I wanted to really kind of combine the two ideas and make a functioning knife, but build it from a knife first and a pry bar second. I feel that the knife is what's going to be used the most. I didn't want to get a pry bar and then just sharpen it and not be able to hold an edge and it'd be too thick.
Right.
So, the focus here is knife first and then add the other functionality. So, and then when it comes to multi-tools, it's to me, it's a multi-tool, but it's not your traditional, folder plier. It has other functions other than a knife. And as somebody who's an outdoor enthusiast and somebody who, loves to tinker and build things, I've used it multiple times. I keep one in my truck. I keep one in my UTV.
Yep.
I had one time when I was moving a blind and I forgot one of my sockets and wrenches, and I had to pull this out and use it. So it has many uses, and that's kind of what it's for. And I love what you said about, kind of seems ridiculous at first. And one of our mottos is elevated ridiculousness. So it fits right there with what we're trying to do. And yeah, I mean, people love it. It's definitely one of those things, you're not going to put on your hip and walk around the city with, but you're going to throw it in your truck toolbox. You're going to keep it in your EDC bag, your go bag, your UTV, your trapping bucket if you're like me. It's just a all around good tool. Yeah.
That
was my thoughts behind it, at least.
I think that's perfect. And this is one of those it's one of those tools that I really like because, like I said before, it's something that I want to keep in my car, in my UTV. It's going to be a great farm tool. And, for riding around, checking fences, all that kind of stuff, this is going to be something that's going to come in handy. I mean, even the hook here, that's going to be great at like cutting rope, cutting paracord, something like that. Just hook it around there, drag it through.
Bail wire.
Yeah.
Sorry, the
belt
rope,
twine and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And pulling nails or something like that. It's going to be a fantastic tool for that. And I love the functionality too of putting it in the sheath, and then you can use it as a pry bar if you want to be, extra safe about using that. You've still got the sheath covering that blade edge, that sharpened edge, and I mean, just phenomenal functionality in something that's nice, lightweight, unobtrusive, and easy to carry around. I like that. Absolutely. Now, we've got one other one here that I really dig, and this is the TAC Jungle Knife. And, I mean, so we were at Blade Show talking to Joe Flowers, who does a lot of machete designing for Condor and stuff like that. This one right here, I am certain that he would absolutely love. And one thing that it harkens back is he said he just loves going out in the woods and just swinging at stuff. It reminds him of being a kid. And that's, you mentioned this earlier before we started recording, was your product and who you sell it to. And for a lot of these things, there is a 12, 13-year-old boy in all of us that remembers just loving to get something like this and just go out in the yard and go to town on a tree or something like that. And, I mean, obviously this is a functional tool because it's actually a machete and it's nice and sturdy. That blade stock is super thick right there, and very heavy duty. But at the same time, too, you're coming in at a very affordable $24.99 for something that's useful, but also something that's going to be fun to use. I think that's really cool. And another product that we wanted to talk about too is, I would say one of your most popular. As far as our sales go here in store, it's the most popular, and that's why I don't actually have it in hand, because we are sold out of it at the moment. But you've got one to show off there, and it's the Javelin Spear. And that thing is so freaking cool. I absolutely love it. And talk about hearkening back to our teenage years and remembering the fun that we could have. Oh my goodness. I see this product and I'm like, it gives me that feeling again. I'm like, I want to take that. I want to go outside and I just want to see how far I can throw it. That's absolutely. So how long is that handle?
Oh man, don't quote me on that. It should be 44 inches, I do believe.
Nice. And so that's a serrated javelin.
Yes.
It's got partially a straight edge on that Tonto blade there, and then partially serrated right there. That thing is absolutely wicked. So tell me about the design on this.
Yeah, so we actually have two spears, and this is a single-sided version of the Tonto blade here. People always ask, like, why a spear? What are you doing with the spear? And, that's exactly what it's for, I believe, is what can you not do with the spear?
Exactly.
To me, I look at the market from, multiple different ways. I feel like, you're either an end user, a collector, or a gift giver. And I feel like this fits all three categories. I have one mounted in my garage on top of my antlers for my deer. Wife won't let me keep it inside, not kid safe to have hanging on the wall. But I mean, it's just a fun, cool conversation piece. But then there is the functionality. I'm here in Texas, and we have a horrible hog problem. And I know people take this out and hog hunt. Some people do the hog hunt where they'll use a knife.
Oh yeah.
I personally don't want to get that close.
Nope.
So this
absolutely
will give you a 4-foot gap. Get you some space, little safety there. So it does have a practical use there. You can use it as a walking stick when you place the TPR sheath on it. So yeah, it's got function, but it's just that cool factor. It's just something, if you're a collector and you want another knife and you don't need another EDC, this is something definitely to add to your collection. It's just super fun. And like you said, it sold out with you guys. It's the Spears is our number one product in the category, and it's just one of those things where it's priced right. People see this massive, cool tool and just say, I gotta have it. Gotta have it.
And that's a perfect tool for that. And that's also something that not a lot of people make either, is a good like javelin tool for going hog hunting with. That's really hard to find. So I think that's absolutely awesome. Coming in at $74.99, I mean, that's a phenomenal tool that, and like you said, it covers all the bases. If you want to give it as a gift, I don't know any humans out there that's not going to enjoy getting that as a gift. Like, honestly,
Dad would love it. I'm a father. I would love to get one.
Right? Absolutely. Like, any dad that's going to open that up is going to be like, yes, absolutely. I'm going out in the yard right now. And then, the wife has to drag him back. No. We got to open everything else, and then we got to have dinner. And okay. And then you just kind of huff there as like you're a teenager again. But then also, for a collector, if you want to hang it up on a display, it's going to look really, really cool. And then from a standpoint of functionality, you want another blade that, like you said, is not an EDC, that's something a little bit different, but something that you can actually, take out in the woods and use. I think that's awesome. That is fantastic. You have absolutely nailed it, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us today. Folks, let us know in the comments down below which one of these was your favorite, which one of these you want to pick up. That's what we want to know, because I'm really digging all three of them, and I think these are phenomenal products that really definitely meet a need in the industry, and can be a lot of fun too. And I think that really brings it around full circle. Is it's not always about functionality. A lot of it has to do with having fun with it too, and I think that's where you guys really bridge a really cool gap in the community.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Bob. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, folks, if it cuts like a Reaper, then we carry. Sure, I'll take a water. Yeah, thank you. And see what I can stick it into.